A very good morning to you. Thank you so very much for listening to FlowFM 92.7. Your go with the Flow radio station. It's 8 o'clock and it's now time for the headline news analysis. The specially designed program where we shape national conversations, unpack, rumors, and then share nothing but the facts with deep analysis coming from our in-house analyst, Nicholas Uwerunonye. The very beautiful part of the program is you have a chance to join in the analysis as well too, to make your comments or share your 2 cents as to, the national trending stories this morning. My name is Adeyemi.
I'm Danielle Shitta-Bey. Thank you for joining us on the headline news analysis this morning. Good morning to you, Nicholas.
Good morning.
How are you doing today?
Fine, thank you.
And how was the trip down here?
Yeah, well, cool.
All right, that's great. The views to be expressed is not in any way the position of FlowFM 92.7 or the staff therein, but is expressed by our in-house analyst, Nicholas Uwerunonye. Also, we're streaming live on YouTube and on Facebook at FlowFM 927. So get on any of these apps and get on live action happening in the studio right now. Let's pick it up from where we stopped yesterday on the conversation on the airport leader, Nnamdi Kanu. You had a couple of things to talk about, but we ran out of time.
Yeah.
So conclude your thoughts.
The point I'm trying to make is that, you see, sometimes when we have issues like this, like conundrums like this, Nigerians must have the patience to be diachronic. That is, we should look at it from across timeline. How did we get to where we are here and where were the mistakes made? You understand? You have to consider a lot of, because the issue here is more of a politically related, agitations, and of course, there were issues of insecurity that stemmed from there. So, but then you have to look at it in the whole entirety and what would be good in the overall for every Nigerian. Now, like I have said, and I'm going to repeat it again, I have never been a supporter of Nnamdi Kanu. At no point have I ever been a supporter of him. And as far as I'm concerned, I think that men like him take advantage of the emotional, impact of what Biafra has on the mind of every Igbo man. You understand? And it is quite unfortunate that we still have people like this. And of course, it is not peculiar to Nigeria. If you go to the United States of America, you still have people who believe in the Confederates. Mm-hmm. You understand? Confederation.
In fact, they host the flag in front of their houses.
They host the flag in front of their houses. Yeah, we know the cultures are different. We are different. We are different. We are makeup, our histories, our cultures are different. But what we are saying is that, you see, when things like a war happens, it lingers on depending on how the government of the day handles it. We have the case of Rwanda. They've been able to move on from their that carnage, that fratricidal carnage. They moved on because there was a deliberate effort to heal the nation. What has happened in Nigeria is because federal government has failed to heal it. So you have demagogues like Nnamdi Kanu coming up every now and then to exploit that emotional weakness of the average woman. But that having been said, how has Nigeria, the Nigerian judicial system, security system, how have they handled the situation? In my opinion, they've handled it badly. IPOB is just like every other agitations, like the OPC, like was the one in the southwest, that is this Odua. Then of course you have the Arewa and the rest of. They are just like, it's just like that. For me, it was even compared to every other one. My thinking is, IPOB is even infinitesimal compared to it, but it was exacerbated by poor handling. You understand? They gave it oxygen to breathe, and that's the result of what we have now. You understand? So now, what is currently playing out? I've had a lot of arguments about him, deciding to defend himself and the rest of them. This is where I'm going to urge the judicial system and the federal government to be very, very careful. Because what Nnamdi Kanu is trying to do, if I read his mind very well, is to hang a moral burden on Nigeria. We must not let that happen. He wants to be a martyr. That is what he's angling for. So that must never be allowed to happen. Because if you look at it, go back in history, go and read the Long Walk to Freedom.
Nelson Mandela.
There was that judgment by the Supreme Court, one of the Supreme Court justices in South Africa, when Mandela refused to enter a defense and now read out his plea, read out his side of, that is, he chose the podium to address the international community, the black race, that this is what they are going through in South Africa. The judge read rightly what he was trying to do and said, yes, that he wants to be a martyr, that is not going to concede that to him, that he wants to be he could have been executed, but the South African justice system said, no, we won't allow you to be a martyr. Rather, you are going to stay somewhere where, but at the end of the day, what does history have in favor of Mandela as against apartheid South Africa? That is what Nigeria must avoid as much as possible. So it's not about siding him because of, no. Everybody knows that there are lots of things to be said about how the insecurity happened in the Southeast, and vicariously or somehow, Nnamdi Kanu is responsible. This is my opinion about that. But I think that Nigeria, by and large, have gone about it the wrong way. That is just it.
Well, lastly on that, the judges said, they will restate by 5th and 6th of November.
Mm-hmm.
And if by that the witnesses he called earlier, and of course, he said he's no longer calling witnesses, what do you think might play out?
He leaves the judge no option. Mm-hmm. He leaves him no option. That is, he has to go straight to judgment. That's as simple as that. I'm not a lawyer, but I think that is it. Okay, this is an allegation against you. You understand? Come and defend yourself. You refuse to defend yourself.
According to me, says there are no allegations against him.
Yeah, but you see, this is part of the convolution we are talking about in the justice. At some point, you get so confused because I know of a lot of court rulings that have been made for the court to release him. But they have released even a coerce court that released this man, on bail, and he had refused. You understand? So you cannot expect the same person who have had judgment in his favor not being respected by federal government to now respect that same court. It's for me, it's a natural justice thing. So I think that is what is playing in Nnamdi Kanu's mind.
Or can we also say that the fear of not religion was a fear that he could, escape again or something?
Release? You see, but you see, look, he's causing more harm.
Being in detention?
Being in detention. Look at all the agitations and things like that. People who don't even know exactly, don't know the antecedent of IPOB, are joining in the movement, calling for his, there is this young chap I have sometimes mentored, right here in Ilorin. I saw him going along with Sowore and the rest of them. Yes, I understand Sowore's angle, but he doesn't know the entire story. You understand? So, you see, things like that distresses me. We are always, the human nature, we always want to side with the underdog. You understand? So, that is the human nature. But, yes, maybe at some level, he's an underdog. He's been cheated. But at the same time, can we rightly say that some of these things that are coming to him, he doesn't deserve it? Because you need to look at some of the incendiary comments he has made. You understand? That is not the best way to go about it. Yes, but of course, it is allowed for things like that to happen. After all, Mandela, the rest of them, they were incendiary too. You understand? But again, I think that we should go beyond some of this. You cannot say because Mandela did it, so you must do it here.
No, but can we say the cause were quite different because it was more like an apartheid thing in South Africa, and here in Nigeria it's more like a seduction.
No. Every form of oppression is the same.
Okay.
Yeah, it's human nature. It's like this. Is this inner cannibalism we have in us as humans? Put some animals together. One must stand up to oppress the other. It's always like that. It's a natural state of being. You understand? We tend to want to struggle for resources, struggle for relevance, struggle for everything. So within that context, you have one form of oppression happening.
All right. Let me ask this before we move on from this conversation. You talked about how Rwandans were able to heal their country after their civil war. Do you think there's truly anything federal government can really do
there are so many things they could
heal?
Do. Yeah, there are so many they could do. And one of them was the issue of this one more state for the Southeast, for instance. Well, it's a start. Some people might argue that states, are they viable, are they this? But the record says that there is hardly any state in Nigeria that is not viable. All we just need is good leaders who can really manage resources. That's all. But you see, it's a step towards the right direction. Path. But even more importantly, I think what we should do is this tendency of honoring people who are incendiary, who have been incendiary in their remarks. We shouldn't glorify them.
Now, if I'm to ask you, what part of the Southeast will this new state, we're just saying hypothetically,
are we
going to cut from Enugu or where?
That would be a bit, if I were to speak from my own side, I think I would prefer the Anioma because that's where I fall in. So
Okay.
I'm a bit selfish there.
Okay.
All right.
But
Zeri,
anyway, I'm not privy to how they will decide to, I don't know.
It was hypothetical.
It was purely hypothetical.
Yeah, absolutely. 0807-777-9927. Let's take this call. Hello, good morning. Hello? Good morning to you. Okay. Looks like we lost that call. Let's move on to another news story real quick. Okay. The call came back in. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Yes, please turn down the volume of your radio set so we can have a good conversation.
Good morning, ma'am. Good morning, sir.
Good morning to you. What is your name and where are you calling from, please?
Yes, I hope you can hear me clearly.
Yes, what is your name?
This is Sarah coming from Ilorin. I tried your number yesterday. The number was ringing. Nobody picked the call.
Probably we're on another call. Maybe, just maybe. We apologize for that, please.
Yes. I want to contribute to the issue of Unam becoming.
Please go right ahead.
Yes. I want to ask the analyst there, our able analyst there. Number one, is it by force to stay together? That is the question I want to ask. People are blaming him now becoming that he's this. Even I'm disappointed. I was listening to, I don't want to be to mention it, one of the sisters radio station, who is an Igbo man, accusing Nnamdi Kanu. The what Nnamdi Kanu is fighting for. He's fighting for Biafra, and they said they proscribe Biafra. Why did they proscribe Boko Haram that is destroying innocent people? Why did they proscribe kidnappers that is destroying people? Hello?
Yes, so with you, please go ahead.
I'm listening.
There are sometimes, husband and wife, they can get married. But when the marriage is not, how would I call it? When they are not satisfied, with themselves, let me use it like that. They can separate as divorce. It's not divorce to live together in Nigeria. Even considering what is happening in this country, no. Hunger, poverty, marginalization here and there. Is it by force? So the federal government, they have to do something. They have to do something meaningful. If they want Nigeria to be as one, unity. Thank you.
All right. Just before we allow Nicholas, straighten things out, first things first, I think we need to correct some impression. First things, Nicholas has been able to talk about what Nigeria needs to do, comparing Nigeria to Rwanda when they had their genocide and the killings and all of these things. But Nicholas did say that Rwanda were able to move past that pass of them and then forging ahead. He didn't say, and again, from the last caller, they never prescribed Biafra. It was IPOB that was prescribed, not Biafra.
Yeah, well, I didn't quite get your name, but I understand what you feel. But you see, let me say something, my dear brother. You see, sometimes when you are angry, very angry, that is when you need to be very, very careful. Because when you are angry, there is a little bit of logic in whatever you say, whatever you do. Yes, I'm an Igbo man myself, but married to a Yoruba woman. You understand? And my kids have Yoruba blood in them. They have Yoruba identity. They have the Yoruba legacies within them. You understand? So if you now say Biafra should go, where will my children fall in? That's number one. Then apart from that, my mom is buried here in Ilorin. You understand? So what do we do now if you now say we want Biafra? So I should go and exhume my mom, I'm taken back to Biafra? No. And I have properties here. And I live among Ilorin people, and I like them very much. I live among Yoruba people, and I like them very much. In fact, some of my best friends are Yorubas. You understand? So these are some of the things we are talking about. So we are looking at the bigger picture. And as a matter of fact, let me tell you, as an Igbo man, let me tell you, you see, the whole Nigeria is not enough for the average Igbo man. That is the simple truth. We are wanderers, we are traders, we move around. Africa is not enough for us. So you want to now circumscribe us to that small enclave? No, so these are the bigger picture we should look at. Yes, we can address some of those perceived marginalization, but we have to do it within the ambits of the law and decency while respecting our fellow Nigerian. So I am not saying that Nnamdi Kanu is outrightly wrong. That is not what we are saying. His treatment, as far as I'm concerned, is horrible. It's condemnable. You understand? But the fact will be said that, look, there are other ways he could have gone about this. That is all I'm saying.
Okay. Another call. Hello, good morning. Okay. All right. 007-777-9927 is number to call. Let's move to another conversation real quick. The House of Representatives has resolved to investigate the Nigeria Football Federation over the alleged mismanagement of $25 million in grants received from FIFA and the Confederation of African Football between 2015 and 2025. They stated that despite the significant inflow of development funds from the international football bodies, there is nothing tangible on ground to justify the expenditure, while also referencing an ongoing controversy surrounding the $1.2 million purportedly used to construct a stadium in Benin Kebbi, which is described as substandard compared to similar projects elsewhere in Africa. And he also warned that continued financial mismanagement could undermine Nigeria's preparations for upcoming international tournaments, including the African Cup of Nations and the World Cup.
Well, you see, as far as corruption is concerned, I think one of the biggest one of the the most corrupt, entity in Nigeria is the Nigerian NFF. You understand? I'm stating this with every sense of responsibility, and they can't even deny it because the records are there. How many of their former NFF chairman are subject of, investigation by EFCC? But the peculiarity of the football world is that you have to be very careful when you probe them, because FIFA abhors government interference in its affairs. They have their own internal mechanisms, of, probing and bringing their own people to book. So to a very large
the case of Joseph Blatter.
Yeah, Joseph Blatter. They have a way of doing it. They would have a way of steaming some of these corrupt entities. So we need to be very careful so that at the end of the day, while trying to do the right thing, we get prescribed again, and we learn that before you know what's happening, that we just slam a 48 hours ultimatum on Nigeria to hands off that probe, or they will have us disqualified from playing the playoffs. So, but what we are doing here is the right thing. We need to call out the NFF to come and explain what that Benin Kebbi, is it Benin Kebbi? Yeah, Benin Kebbi Stadium. What it's going to be, especially when we have seen the equivalent of that funding, what it did in Kenya. See, I don't know. This is just preliminary. I'm not privy to all the details. I know that the upper part of the north, it is easier to do constructions there. It's not like the southern part, because you have to spend 10 times what you spend in the north to construct anything in the south because of the terrain. Yeah, you have to do a lot of dredging, you have to do a lot of sand filling and things like that. But it's not the same in the north. So I need them to come and explain how 1.2 million naira dollars was spent on what I saw. That is, in fact, this Kwara State baseball stadium is far better than what I saw there. You understand? So these are some of the things that is hobbling our football. Especially when we look at our records. Since this current NFF came on board, our football has been going down, has been nosediving. We have a call?
Yeah. Okay. Looks like we got to sleep. Please go ahead.
When you look at, you need to ask yourself, where are we really improving? Just a few days ago, South Africa's Mamelodi Sundowns came here and whitewashed the so-called best, private club in Nigeria, 5-1, and you topped it with another two. In fact, I think they were magnanimous, giving them 2 in South Africa. It's just a way of just not totally humiliating us. I mean, it's the level of disgrace that NFF has given to us. You can imagine Lesotho coming here to come and pull a draw with us. And each time you talk to these guys, they tell you that and there are no more minnows. It's an old cliche. No more minnows in African football. So if other countries are growing, where are you growing now? You are not growing. You are not improving infrastructure. Your game is not improving. You are not getting good results. So exactly, even the club listed the other day in Kano Pillars, there was a pitch invasion where they had to. So exactly, where are we growing? And it's a system of a failed. It's in a symptom of a failed system, where everybody's busy dipping their hands into the till and neglecting the running of the proper administration of football in Nigeria.
I was just going to ask you about the administration of football in Nigeria. Whose responsibility is it? Is it under the Ministry of Sports?
No.
It's That's NFF, Nigerian Football Federation, stands on its own. Yeah. Now, who controls the Nigerian Football Federation? That's the chairman of the NFF, right?
Yeah.
Is answerable to who?
FIFA.
is answerable to FIFA.
Yes.
Now, if you say FIFA has an internal, administration of football, but why don't they subject it to, authorities of member countries? Is it that member countries cannot, investigate?
No, you see, this is where it gets a bit complicated. Yes, the FIFA will tell you that they don't condone corruption. They exhort their members to obey the laws of the land. Now, if the NFF chairman goes, for instance, outside, football matters, to go and commit statutory rape, God forbid, they will slam him into jail and nothing will happen. In fact, FIFA will even applaud. You understand? So, but you see, the funding here is FIFA money. You understand? It's FIFA money. You see, what the House of Rep will simply do is to do hearing. To move into prosecution, that is where I'm a bit in doubt as to whether they have, they can decide to do it legally. They can slam them in jail and whatever. They can get away with it. But will FIFA not see that as an interference in their affair? Because they have their own mechanism of proving, such misdemeanor. You understand? Of course, you've had the case of, people who are into betting and match fixing and the rest of them. Siasa just came back from how many years, So they have their ways of dealing with things like that. They freeze you out completely. You understand? So normally it is always better when you have that. After FIFA has done his own bit, then you can now hold that person and deal with him according to your law.
All right. Do we have a call?
You just ended.
All right.
Okay.
Because again, how do FIFA, get to know that there is mismanagement of funds? Is it that the country will write FIFA as a global body that the football federation in their country is mismanaging the money and the funds?
Sorry, hold that thought.
Okay.
Let's take this call. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Hello?
Hello.
Yes, good morning to you. What is your name and where are you calling from?
Good morning.
Yeah. Okay.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, please.
It's a bit noisy, but what's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is I'm calling from Soviet Union.
Hamzat from Sobi Road. Okay, please go ahead with your comment.
Hello?
Yes.
Please go on.
Go ahead.
So, this is what I'm discussing about. All the Igbo people is, they should be patient and let love lead. Just like when I was in the north. So, and now someone once told me something that it's just like you went to the market, buy tomato, onions, and pepper, you grind them together. You took everything home. So the owner of the tomato came to you and said he wants to collect his tomato. The owner of the pepper came, also the owner of the onion came to you and said he wants to collect his own something. After you have already grinded everything together. It's not possible. Them saying they want to go. We have already joined together. So there's no way we can separate.
Well,
So all I would tell them or urge them is just let love live. Just like that Igbo man said, he got married here, and if he goes back, please, how will he do with the family? So just let love live. Just let love live.
All right. Thank you for your comment.
all right. Let's not confuse the conversation at all. It's not an outcry, from that section of the country that
there's no outcry.
currently there's no outcry. It's just the holding of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, and of course the call for his granting a bail or being released. And then I think we had this conversation about 3 weeks or 2 weeks ago that can he be released on that placed on the house arrest so that they were properly prosecution can commence.
Yeah.
But again, the call is he's just been held. No and then we have the latest that he says he doesn't want any witness anymore, that he's his own witness.
Yeah.
So in all of this, it's not a call for secession. No, it's not a call for that at the moment. No, that's not it. Okay.
Another call. Hello, good morning. All right, looks like. All right, please go ahead with your comment.
Yeah. Well, if I may, add a little to what that young man said. It reminds me of one former copper, a northerner. I think it's from Sokoto State. I saw him in Abuja. So we were talking about this IPOB at that time, very early when they started. And he looked at me and said, IPOB, where are they going? Where is Biafra going? He said, I went to Akwa Ibom to go and do my youth service. I ate Edikai Kong, I ate this, I ate Ofin Sala, I ate this. You want me, those kind of delicacies, you want to survive from Nigeria, it's not going to happen. That is ready to go to war. That is the thing. So it might appear funny, but that is the thing. All those small things is what binds us together. But that is just aside. We're talking about football, in terms of a lot is happening in our football that ordinarily I think that the federal government should really look into it. You see, they should take more than passing interest in how our football is run. Not necessarily interfering, but ensuring that proper candidates emerge as our football administrator. Look at what is happening in Cameroon. You have Eto Fields, a former international. You can, from everything, you see that he's been patriotic. But very soon, Cameroon is going to shoot up there. Just mark my word. Because I know a lot of things that is happening there. You cannot, but we have a lot of people who have played football who should come into administration. But because of the corruption there, these corrupt entities, they are not going to leave the stage. They will just be there, taking the money and just using it. You need to see how large some of these NFF officials are.
How large they're living.
Yeah.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you. What is your name and where are you calling from?
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, Nicholas and Double D, good morning.
Good morning
to you. What's your name?
Yeah, the fact this issue of
Sir, please register your name. Register your name before you go ahead with your comment. What's your name, please?
Yes, Jim from Fate.
Okay, Jim from Fate. All right. Thank you. Go ahead with your comment.
Yes, Jim Madeku. So please, this issue of Nandikano, let us join together. Whether you are outside or Igbo or Yoruba, let us join together and see what we can do about it. Let this guy be look. Let us not be deceiving ourselves. If Mandikano had been an outside man, they could have. I'm telling you, the federal government could have withdrawn the case. After all, the president of BTLA was charged for terrorism, and the federal government came out and said that for the sake of peace, they've withdrawn the case, and they let any man go. It's okay. That's how we should be able to live in peace. Like myself, Nicholas has already said it all. So some of us, I never liked how Nandikano was going about it. I'm telling you the truth. Even to some of my friends, even started abusing me. That is a fear of the unknown. I don't want to go back home. I said, look, I've spent over 50 years in Yoruba land. Love them. I see one and to stay with them. It's not about fear of the unknown. If I go home, I'm going home. Look, let me tell you, it's not boasting. I own a 4-star duplex at home. But I love being with my Yoruba friends here. I love them. I retired at Ibadan. And I made them to mechanize you. Yes, my family are here. I came back here. So please, for God's sake, let this man go. Let him, so that some of us are now preparing to go to Christmas. We cannot go because of fear. Let him go. Let the president take a decisive, measure as he normally does, and say enough is enough.
All right.
Let him go.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your comment. Well, our time is fast spent. Let's take other comment real quick.
Good morning to you all in the studio. I do not agree that leaving Kanu in detention is causing more harm than good. We all know what is happening in the southeast before he was arrested. More southeasterners were killed by IPOB than even herdsmen and bandits as a result of direct instruction from Kanu through Radio Biafra. Please let justice be served based on facts, not sentiment. Joy from Uwerunonye. He also said the earlier FIFA realizes that for corruption in football management to be curtailed in Africa and Nigeria in particular, agency like EFCC should be allowed to play a small supervisory role without being seen as government intervention. Thank you. Another message, this is from Dr. Mrs. Umali Barra from Uwerunonye. She says, this election is a defining moment for the people of Anambra. There will be no power play, intrigues, rigging, manipulation, thuggery, violence, or do or die. Of serious concern is the way money has become a key issue. Power belongs to the people, and they should be allowed to choose their leader. We reject politics of deceit. May peace reign in Anambra.
All right. Well, amen. Our eyes are on Anambra as well, too. And, of course, like we did say 2 weeks ago, the new INEC chairman, this is going to be some major tests as to how the election play out in Anambra on November 8th. So we'll keep our eye on the states and we'll report the latest. So just before we go, quickly.
Yeah, just a little bit of correction for that last thing. There is no evidence that shows that Nnamdi Kanu in detention gives order for killing. Please. These are some of the things that model up the situation. We should be clear about our source of information, please. Yeah.
All right.
Thank you very much for joining us on the Headline News Analysis this morning. It's been a wonderful time talking. The views expressed is not in any way the position of FlowFM 92.7 or the staff therein, but as expressed by our in-house analyst, Nicholas Uwerunonye. I'm Danielle Shitta-Bey.
Thank you for joining us on the Headline News. We'll return tomorrow, same time, 8 to 8:30. My name is Adeyemi. No matter how varying our views and expressions have been on the program this morning, it is not going to divide us, but rather it places us in a position to understand the situation of things better. We all cannot think alike, and that's why we always state that we respect the views of everyone on the Headline News Analysis. So tomorrow again, 8 to 8:30, I am Adeyemi. Have a good morning.